Crazy Postman here. So I'm on my normal Sunday travels, and it's usually about 70 miles, and I can't always come up with content to make. I know it's shocking that I can't think this stuff up, but I don't know what to make videos about. So when I can't come up with anything better, I'm gonna do this new series called En Route with the Postman, and all that's gonna be is my normal Sunday loop. It's almost 70 miles, and we're going to kind of see the state of Autopilot. I'll always start the show or start the trip and I'll let you know what Autopilot version I'm on, and then we'll continue in the trip. I'll tell you any outside factors that's happening. Like today, it's extremely windy. There's some kind of African sandstorm blowing in. I don't know, but that's what the TV said. And it's really hazy around. There's not maybe 2 or 3 mile visibility, and that's about it. Let me show you. There's some mountains that aren't all that far away. Just a couple miles. They're not that big. We don't really have mountains in Oklahoma. We just have tall hills. People in other states that have real mountains would make fun of me for calling that a mountain, but it's pretty hazy out here. There's lots of wind going on. I checked the weather before I left, and it said 30-mile-an-hour winds currently. So that's pretty extreme. I'm gonna try to not make these too long. Maybe 5 or 7 minute episodes. I know this one's gonna go over 5 minutes or 7. Okay, for sure 10 minutes. I'm gonna keep it under 10 minutes. I've become quite a windbag, and I think that turns off some viewers because they don't like to hear me talk. They just want to see the Tesla perform, and that's a problem for me because I like talking. So we're going to head on down the road, and we're going to see how this Autopilot performs in this extreme wind. I should have brought the Scan My Tesla app so I could record the steering angle, you know, going back and forth. If it's actually handling it pretty good. You can see some of these trees are bent over pretty good, and I mean, you can feel it in the Tesla. I'm not gonna say it's just going perfect still, but it's doing a good job in this extreme windy condition. See the mountain in the distance. Guys, we're coming up on the halfway point. My exit is only about 2 miles away. So far, we've been doing pretty good. I mean, with the 30-mile-an-hour crosswind, I mean, I'm not bouncing around abnormal, you know. I'd probably be bouncing around this much if I was manually driving. So, right now, our watt hours per mile. Here's a picture of our watt hours per mile here. But for now, this is the Crazy Postman, and we're halfway through our en route process. and I'll see y'all on the other side. Alright guys, Crazy Postman here. I'm back after lunch, headed home. So I got about 35 miles on autopilot, and it should be a straight shot. I shouldn't have to turn off autopilot at any time. It is still quite windy. Maybe not as windy as earlier, but it's still pretty windy. I did have to deactivate autopilot once on the way in because there was a car on the shoulder, and man, what is that horse trailer doing up there? He is way off the road. Anyway, there was someone on the shoulder, so I wanted to move over lanes, and I don't have full self-driving, so I have to deactivate autopilot to do that. But we'll put this in fast forward, and I'll hurry up and get home, and we'll see how the final verdict is when I get close to the other side. Up at the end of my journey today. So far, no unintentional disengagements of autopilot. I have had 2 disengagements, but both times it was just me changing lanes. So that definitely doesn't count against the car. I'm going to give today's drive an A. Nothing amazing happened, so the only time I'll give an A+ is if something amazing happened. So A would be an average drive where everything worked and nothing went wrong. You know, if I have to give it a B or a C or a D, that means it did something wrong. Multiple times did something wrong if it's a D. But today's drive was pretty uneventful. It was really windy, and autopilot handled the wind pretty well. We're coming up at the end of the 100-mile loop. Now remember, only about 70 miles of that is counted on this autopilot. 20 miles of that is me driving through town going to get lunch. I have a specific spot I start and stop the test every time for the en route test. And right here, that road right there is the actual road, is the ending point. The stats for this trip is going to be 277 watt-hours per mile. The places where I'm judging autopilot, it is a straight road, 70 miles an hour. Nothing should go wrong, because that's really where basic autopilot is meant to be on highway driving. I may do some en routes with, town driving, but today it was being judged on a 70-mile highway trip, and I give it an A score for the postman score today. But thanks for watching. I hope this wasn't too incredibly boring. Maybe I'll come up with something interesting to do in the en routes. If you'd like to hit that like button, I'd appreciate it. It lets me know that you appreciate the hours of time I put into filming and editing a video. know, right now I only have a few subscribers, so obviously I'm not making any money doing this for y'all. That guy ran that red light really bad. But leave a comment and a like, and if you'd like to hit that subscribe button, that'll make my channel look better, so I'd appreciate that too. But thanks for watching the trip, and I'll see you in the next drive.